Okay, to do the poems and the 5 responses, this is an example here to show you what I've done in the past to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So we take the poem Where Dreams Come From. A girl slams the door of her little room under the eaves where marauding squirrels scamper overhead like herds of ideas. When I first read this poem, it reminded me of home because we had squirrels when I was growing up, and I thought they were so cute. I now realize that they're not the cute little animals that they look to be. They can be quite mischievous. She has forgotten to be grateful. She has finally room with a door that shuts. Well, we didn't have much money when I was growing up, so I can relate to not having things that other people take for granted. The next part, she is furious her parents don't comprehend why she wants to go to college. Now, that was a very typical attitude of my hometown where there were only 300 people. I was called a snob because I went to university, because that just wasn't something that people there did in general. Also, a friend of mine, just going over to this comment here, a friend of mine had a father who was very upset that she went to university. You didn't do that. You graduated from high school and you got a job. So that reminded me of her dad as well. Do they sneak in through torn screens at night to light on the arm like mosquitoes? When did I want to become a teacher? This is all about the dreams that were talked about. Nobody in their family going to college. Where do dreams come from? My dreams started when I believe I was in grade 5, and I realized that I wanted to be a teacher. I changed my mind a few times, but that's what I ended up doing in the end. Are they passed from mouth to ear like gossip or dirty jokes? Do they sprout from underground on damp mornings like toadstools that form fairy rings on dew-tipped grasses? So were the dreams of my peers, my friends? I'm not really sure. It just started to make me think about that. Where did their dreams come from? No, they slink out of books. They lurk in the stacks of libraries. And that reminded me, just the word books. I love books. Had a friend when I was about 6 years old, I think. I went up to his house and he pulled out a suitcase full of books. And I don't think I've ever been so jealous before or since then. So that definitely reminded me of his suitcase full of books. So those are just some of the ideas that you can come up with when you read these poems. You don't have to relate the way the author has related. Squirrels in the first stanza, my idea of what squirrels are and what I thought of has nothing to do with the way squirrels are mentioned in the poem. I just saw the word and thought, oh yeah, that triggered a memory. And sometimes they're good memories and sometimes they aren't. Sometimes it might be a question that you ask yourself when you read a certain part of a poem. So this is what I'm looking for. It's kind of hard to do when you're typing it on the computer, so you can just copy and paste a particular section of the poem and then write your comment underneath it when you do the assignments. I'm just looking for a number of responses, different things that the poems make you think of as you're reading them. So as long as you give me 5 responses that make sense, then you will do fine. Don't forget to keep track of these because you will need them later on in the course.